Dear student, let us start with the third module, Impulse Response Representation for LTI Systems. In this particular module, we will study first the properties of impulse response representation of LTI system, which can be completely determined from its impulse response. In this impulse response, there are seven different types of properties. First one is memoryless, next causality, stability, invertibility, commutative, associative, distributive properties. Let us go first with the commutative property. The convolution operation in both continuous time and discrete time are commutative. That is, x of n is convoluted into h of n is represents h of n is convoluted into x of n, which is represented in DTS signal. Similarly, we can also represent in CTS system, that is x of t is convoluted into h of t, which is nothing but your h of t convoluted into x of t. This we have to prove. This is a statement. Consider a discrete time LTS system having an impulse response h of n with an input x of n. Then the output is given by y of n is equal to x of n convoluted into h of n. The above expression can be written as summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of k into h of n minus k. This h of n minus k can be represented you can just represent n minus k is equal to some variable m. Then the above equation y of n is equal to summation k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. Then what is the value of k? This expression that put n minus k is equal to m is there. From this expression, k is equal to n minus m. Substitute that k value here, that is x of n minus m, into what is n minus k? N minus k is represented with m. So h of m. Just substitute the value. Then y of n is equal to m is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. Then interchange the upper limit and lower limit. Then x of n minus m into h of m. Y of n is equal to m is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity h of m into x of n. You just interchange the upper limit and lower limit. Then the above equation y of n is equal to h of n is convoluted into x of n. So therefore y of n is equal to x of n can be convoluted into h of n, which is also equal to h of n convoluted into x of n. Similarly, the above equation can also be represented in DTS signal. That is nothing but CTS signal. Y of t is equal to x of t into h of t. You see the difference between your DTS and CTS. In DTS, we are going to write summation. In CTS, we are going to represent in integrated value. Y of t is equal to x of t convoluted into h of t. The above equation can be written as integration minus infinity to plus infinity x of tau h of t minus tau into d tau. Similarly, what we have done in DTS, here in CTS also you can represent. T minus tau is equal to put some variable here. So integrate, what is d tau? D tau is nothing but minus dm. Substitute these values in the above equation. So y of t is equal to minus integration plus infinity to minus infinity x of what is tau from the above equation. Tau is equal to t minus m h of m. What is t tau? T tau is minus dm. So minus sign is taken outside dm. Then simplify, change the upper limit and lower limit. Then h of m x of t minus m into dm. So above equation represent y of t is equal to h of t is convoluted into x of t. then therefore y of t is equal to x of t convoluted into h of t. This can also be written as h of t convoluted into x of t. Hence, the convolution operation is commutative. Similarly, we'll go for the second property, that is distributive property. The convolution in both continuous time and discrete time are distributive. See the above equation, that is x of n is convoluted into h of n plus h2 of n. This equation can be written as x of n convoluted into h1 of n plus x of n convoluted into h2 of n. Just open the bracket. Already you have studied this distributive, associative, commutative property in the previous. The similar method, similar technique we are using it. And x of t is convoluted into h1 of t plus h2 of t is equal to x of t is convoluted into h1 of t plus x of t convoluted into h2 of t. See how this block diagram is being represented. X of n given as an input signal to h1 of n and h2 of n. Then output is y1 of n and y2 of n. What is your y1 of n? X of n is convoluted into h1 of n. What is your y2 of n? X of n is convoluted into h2 of n. What is your y of n? Y of n is nothing but y1 of n plus y2 of n. See the above equation. Similarly, what I have explained is been written. What is y1 of n? x1 convoluted into h1 of n. y2 is this. y1 is nothing but y1 of n plus y2 of n. So what is your y? Just substitute what is your y1 of n, y2 of n. Then add the summation, simplification. Then you are going to get y of n is equal to x of n convoluted into h1 of n plus h2 of n. The above equation can be written in the system form shown in the below figure. X of n is given to a system which is having h1 of n plus h2 of n. You are going to get your y of. Similarly, a continuous time signals can also be written. Thank you. अरे क्या कर Third property is associative property. In this property, the convolution of both continuous time and discrete times are associative. So we can represent the signal x of n is convoluted into h of n into h2 of n. This can be written as x of n convoluted into h1 of n convoluted into h2 of n. Similarly, your CTS can also be written as x of t is convoluted into h1 of t into h2 of t, which is nothing but x of t convoluted into h1 of t convoluted into h2 of t. The above equations are represented in the block diagram. So x of t is your input, y of t is your output, and we have two convolution function h1 of t and h2 of t. What is your z of t? Z of t is nothing but x of t convoluted into h1 of t. And what is your y of t? Y of t is nothing but z of t convoluted into h2 of t. So what is your equation? Y of t is equal to z of t convoluted into h2 of t. Since it is a CTS signals, so it is been written as integration of minus infinity to plus infinity z of tau h2 of t minus tau into d tau. What we have done in the previous property also, you can write that z of tau is equal to x of tau convoluted into h1 of tau. So h of x of n eta h1 of tau minus eta into dn. So we can write this above equation as double integration of that is substituting this z of tau in the above equation, that is 2.16. So we'll get double integration from minus infinity to plus infinity, x of tau, h1 of t minus tau, h2 of t minus tau, d tau into d eta. So substituting m is equal to t minus tau and interchanging the order of integration, we get this is all the mathematical equation, that is just substituting wherever m is there, substitute as t minus tau and interchanging the order of integration, minus infinity to plus infinity, x of eta is been taken, t minus eta is being written as h1 of m, h2 of t minus c. What is this? That is nothing but t minus tau. That is wherever tau is nothing but m minus en. It is been written dm into d eta. So the above equation is x of n. This total term is been taken as h of t minus eta into dn. So where h of t minus eta is equal to h1 of t minus eta convoluted into h2 of t minus eta. So h of t is equal to h1 of t convoluted into h2 of t. Y of t is equal to x of t into convoluted into h of t. So y of t can be written as x of t. What is your h of t? H of t is nothing but h1 of t convoluted into h2 of t. So the above equation will be represented in the block diagram like this. X of t is convoluted into h1 of t and h2 of t, which gives your y of t. Hence, the overall impulse response of two LTI systems connected in cascade is convolution of individual impulse response. We also know that the convolution is commutative. Therefore, we can write the system in the below figure as x of t is equal to h2 of t convoluted into h1 of t, which gives you your y of t. So the above figure can also be written as x of t, h2 of t. Again, the output of h2 of t is convoluted into h1 of t, which gives your y of t, which is being represents the above equation. Similarly, even for discrete time, we can also write the equation x of n convoluted into h1 of n convoluted into h2 of n, which gives x of n convoluted into h1 of n convoluted into h2 of n. The other property here is memoryless system. So a system is said to be memoryless if its output depends only on the present value of the input. Then only the system is said to be memoryless. Already this property we have already studied. What is causal system? Causal system depends only on the present or the past values. Then the system is said to be causal. So just understand here, causal system means the output depends only on the present or the past value, not on future. Okay, you can see the memoryless depends only on the present value, whereas causal system depends on the present as well as the past value. Stable system here, in the last properties also we have studied this. A system is stable if every bounded input produces a bounded output. This is a standard formula. Consider a discrete LTI system with an input x of n which is being bounded. X of n is less than or equal to bx is less than or infinity value. You can also study this. We have already studied in the previous class. So these are very important here. And the another property is invertibility property. We know the system is said to be invertible only if its input can be recovered from its output. I repeat this. What is invertibility system is its input can be recovered from its output, then the system is said to be invertibility. So you can observe that what is this block diagram? X of t is been given to output is h of t, which gives you your y of t. Y of t is acting as an input to h1 of t, which gives your z of t. The z of t should be equal to your x of t. So z of t is nothing but x of t convoluted into h of t into that is convoluted into h1 of t, which gives you your x of t. Means the input can be recovered from the output, then the system is called as invertibility. So these are all the properties for the module 3, which are very important. Definitely they will ask one questions from this particular. In the next class we will see the problems based on this. Thank you.